Be talking about why I left the left. This is my official statement. Does this mean that I'm MAGA, make America great again? Not necessarily. But how can someone who is so liberal, bisexual, be on the right?
Okay. This video is much deeper than I thought it would be, bro.
Be talking about why I left the left. This is my official statement. Does this mean that I'm MAGA, make America great again? Not necessarily. But how can someone who is so liberal, bisexual, be on the right? The left has become extreme. It got to the point where mainstream views made me feel conservative. I never related to conservative views. I'm just logical. It's funny how, if you look at history, the pendulum swings. Do people even think about the fact that Abe Lincoln was a Republican? I was a fan of Bernie Sanders. I actually voted for Obama when I was 18.
This is a message to housewife, the Congress America. Barack Obama intrude in the affairs of Egypt with the money of American people. Why did to help us in the Muslim Brotherhood? The Muslim Brotherhood is killers and liars. Nobody believes the liars Obama.
And I would like to personally apologize to Egypt for that.
Did you forget 11 September? Don't forget. We are Egyptian women. We don't need any help from Obama. Affairs belong to Egyptian only. So shut up your mouth. Shut up your mouth, everybody.
I'm slightly joking about that though, because your vote doesn't mean anything. Who is going to win will win. We all remember what happened during the last election. I think that a lot of people are leaving the left because they're being pushed out of the left by the left.
If a single one of your beliefs are to the right of our line, then you're on the right, making you the enemy.
The same views that would have been considered moderate left 10 years ago are now considered right wing.
Okay. So the reason I paused it is y'all could probably see like this chart right here. But before this chart was like this, where it was like the purple in the middle, red on one side, blue on the other side. They showed it and it was like 20% blue and like 80% red. And that's the reason I paused it. I'm not really into this subject. I don't know a lot about it. This is why I watch these type of videos. But I have noticed that just my views alone on this channel, people have told me that these views are conservative or super right leaning. I'm like, me? I'm like Jojo. I just say stuff that's common sense, and I've noticed a lot of this is, I guess, polarizing now, or I guess controversial now, and it's just kind of confusing to me. Like, it's crazy how much the world has changed in such a short period of time, and I really do wonder what caused this. I have an idea, but I just really wonder what's the truth.
Now with the placement of our line, you can see those who were in the middle are now in the middle of the far right.
Oddly enough, my disappointment in the left does not start with an election. It begins with my personal experience with a pedophile. I was in a relationship with someone for 3 years. And during those 3 years, without my knowledge, he was exploiting and abusing underage girls, paying them for nude photos, manipulating them into relations behind my back. For 3 years, he hid this from me. Even though I spent holidays with him, seasons with his family. But someone can only lie for so long until the truth is discovered. I exposed him. You can read that whole story if you like. It's on my Twitter. The point is, the laws that are in place to protect these heinous child abusers, rehabilitation, primarily Democrat, leftist, ideologies. My soul is not broken, but my patience was broken. People always like to bring up the Catholic Church. I'm not Catholic, but I do know that a lot of Catholics are conservative on the right. I don't know if you've heard of the movie Spotlight, but it talks about this at length. There hasn't been a comeuppance or a documentary highlighting the fact that now, primarily, pedophiles are hiding in the left. Leftists will blindly defend their own ideologies, the guise of sexual liberation and freedom instead of taking accountability. And there have been groups lately on the internet saying that there are non-offending maps. Imagine if your son or daughter had these urges that they could not control. That's appealing to your emotions, yeah? Logic should tell you that this is a manipulation tactic and it's what they're great at.
This video is much deeper than I thought it would be, bruh. It's just kind of sad that, for one, this young lady had to go through that. And how it is even sadder. It's not sadder, but it's just as sad how her situation and her relationship led her to this belief. The reason I'm saying it's sad is because how you're able to tie something so as sick as that to this belief and to this extreme belief. And here I am, trying to be like, it's not that deep. It's not that. Maybe the ideology, the idea is not, equivalent to what she went through. But I can't, in a sound mind, say that. And that's what's really killing. It's really hurting my brain. Like, I can't, in a sound mind, say that she is wrong. That her tying those together doesn't make sense, because honestly, it is making sense.
Because they practice it on children. This should be a nonpartisan issue. That's number one. And there are leftists who pretended to be a beacon of light and empathy towards me during that time, quickly turned me into their enemy for talking about a video game that you might have heard of called Hogwarts Legacy. At the time I'm recording this video, I still have not played that game. But just talking about it and saying people should have the freedom to play what they like got me canceled.
That's why instead of debating our enemies, a more effective approach we used is to deplatform them.
And one might argue, well, you shouldn't care about numbers on the internet. I don't care if people unfollow me, DMing my friends, quote tweeting me, telling them to stop supporting me because I was a TERF. I am not trans exclusionary, I am not radical, and I'm not a feminist, which is just another word for misandry. I was outcasted talking about a video game by the left because me saying that everyone should have freedom to choose how they spend their free time was unacceptable. I was supposed to blindly adapt.
The most common tactic we use to quickly disable our enemies is to throw labels at them. Don't worry.
And here's the problem I have, bro. When it comes to deplatforming someone and this whole cancel culture, because as much as people like to admit, it's real. It's very real. That's where I have a problem, bro. And I get it. When you're on a social media platform, they have advertisers, and the advertisers want a specific type of image, and that's completely fine. Like, if it's if it's inappropriate, or if it's downright harsh or evil or just wrong, if it's downright wrong, and we all know what wrong is, then yeah, get it out of here. That's the beauty of life. Like, if it's just wrong, get it out of here. But when it comes to just someone having a different belief than you, and it's not necessarily harming anyone, it's literally just a different belief, and you take away their entire livelihood, or you try to ruin their platform, or you try to just ruin them as a human, that's when I have a problem, bro. Because, for one, this whole, I guess, political thing, it's more so supposed to bring us together for the greater good of, for one, our country. That's the original belief of it. That's just what it's supposed to do. But when you have these people who online or on these platforms who want to destroy you for how you think, that's when it gets kind of weird, and that's when it gets kind of immoral and just downright wrong. Hey y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
How accurate the label is. The accuracy of your throw is what matters.
Ad hominems and no true Scotsman fallacies. Right-winger, conspiracy theorist, turf, bigot. Only a good person would stand with us on the left. Because, we oppose the system. I think you might be surprised of how much that system owns you. Virtue signal from an iPhone at a Starbucks on your MacBook computer. People on the right side of the spectrum do not self-diagnose their mental illnesses.
You are not obese, narcissistic, or have dysmorphia. You are simply curvy, self-loving, and require the removal of your...
They do not cater to delusions. They believe in biology and facts, axioms and logical consistency. To be fair, it is very difficult to find unbiased sources these days. I was looking up the origin of the term conspiracy theorist, which thankfully I already knew was created by the Warren Commission. If I didn't already know what I was looking for, I wouldn't have found it because there was so much conflicting information. We live in a world where algorithms keep you in echo chambers. I was stuck in an echo chamber of the left, but now they had turned against me. So instead of
And this is what I try to not be on my channel. That's one thing I really don't want to be. And it actually hurts my channel, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't get as many subscribers or I don't get as many views because I'm not an echo chamber. I'm not going to tell y'all what y'all want to hear necessarily. Or maybe I do tell you what you want to hear, but I don't do it on purpose. I just try to say the truth. I try to say what I think is right in every single video, no matter what. And that's what kind of hurts me because I'm not going to be an echo chamber on the right or the left. I'm not. It's just not what I'm going to be. And she's 100% right. A lot of people get caught up in echo chambers and they get caught up in cancel culture or they get caught up in just straight up lies. And it just skews the entire way they think and just makes the world in itself regress rather than progress.
I was being screamed at. People trying to tell me what I am, trying to identify me, ironically enough, as a bad person, lacking empathy, as a disappointment, as someone who invokes violence by questioning a narrative.
Please, Obama.
All these people who turned on me over something stupid like Hogwarts Legacy, hadn't watched my YouTube videos, hadn't been a sub to my channel or DM'd me in years. But all of a sudden, they remembered me when the mob came after me. Why would I want to stay in a hostile environment like that? I have learned how hostile the left is with their avid fighting for gender ideology in schools, indoctrinating young children into thinking they might need hormones that will have lifetime effects on them. People who gaslit and guilted for being apprehensive about vaccines or wanting to wear masks. Of course, I am vaccinated. But when I think back on it, it was societal pressure and pressure from the government. Through my research and understanding of how the government protects files, I have learned a lot. The leftist government is not there to help you. It is killing you slowly through the food you eat, the water you drink. It is using your tax money to aid a war effort. Instead of helping its own people, it is indoctrinating children. The left wants to call me homophobic. They want to call me transphobic. I've said it before, and I'll say it one last time. I want trans people to have what they need in order to integrate into society in the best and healthiest way possible.
Here's my take on this. Like with anything, I believe that there's good and there's bad. When it comes to, she defined it as leftist government. Firstly, I don't believe there's an entire sector in our U.S. government designed to make your life worse. I don't believe that. That's not something that I'm ever going to say. It's just not. However, I do think there's good people and there's bad people when it comes to these sections. And also, I believe that in modern times, when it comes to like online and I guess sensitivity, there are groups of people who are just bitter online, and they make it their mission to make our lives worse. They make it their mission to look at someone like her, who's obviously more so on the successful side in streaming or a game, and just her success or her presence or the fact that she's a woman doing this, it just upsets them. And there's people like that online, and it's kind of manifesting more and more into society, because as our generation grows up, we believe in kindness. We believe that everyone is equal. Of course, everyone is equal. But with kindness, it kind of comes with, you have to be still honest. And a lot of people just aren't as honest as they once were, especially when it comes to online things. And a lot of people are just delusional now. Chronically online is what they like to call it. So that's what I think it is, man. Life is getting crazy now. Make sure you have good people around you. Make sure you're trying to do the right thing as a human, and everything should work out. But also, don't just focus on the negative. Try to focus on the positive within life as well, because if we just focus on the negative, that's all we're going to see. But if we focus on the positive, then we'll start seeing more positive things. But yeah, it's LFR Jojo. If you have any suggestions, comment down below, and I'll see you next.